This is year 10, chapter 4. We're doing some statistics, and this is a video then on cumulative frequency. So it says using this technique which calculates the running total cumulative frequency, just means total as we keep going or kind of keep going up. Running total, we'll be able to calculate the median of group data. For example, the number of games that children had for their games console is given the table below. How many children had more than 20 games? How many children had less than 16 games? For this, and I'm not sure if other people do it, I like to have a fourth column in there. And I like to have a wee less than column. It just helps make it a little more clear. Not the 5 games. So for this one, it would be less than or equal to 5. It's always just this top number here. Less than or equal to 10. Less than or equal to 15. Less than or equal to 20. Less than or equal to 25. And then less than or equal to 30. And here then we're going to have cumulative frequency. So how many games were there less than or equal to 5? Answer is of course 5. Less than or equal to 10 is going to be this one and this one. So it'll be 14. Less than or equal to 15, it's 17 plus 9 plus 5. Or if you want 17 plus 14 is really a decent way to work it out. It's going to be 31. Less than 20, 31 plus this is 59. Less than or equal to 25, 59 plus 21 gives me 80. And then plus the 10 then is going to give 90. How many children have more than 20 games? So there's 90 kids in all, and so 59 of them have 20 or less, so more than 20. We have what's left there, so it's from 59 all the way up to 90, so I think it is 31. Less than 16 games, so that's 15 or fewer, so that's less than or equal to 15, so the answer to that one then weirdly is 31 as well. Is that right? I guess it is. So the answer to both of those then is going to be 31. We'll then do our next question, and I've done a wee bit of it already, but we'll see. We're going to actually come back to this next page that talks about the quartiles and how you work out your interquartile range and stuff, so we'll come back to that in a wee second. Whenever you do your cumulative frequency curve, which is kind of hopefully you can see. So we have this one, 200 trees in the forest, and we want to set up our cumulative frequency table. Again, I've added a wee column here. I hope that makes sense to people. That's what we did then with the last one as well. So let's see. So our first one is height. And we just fill in the information we have here. Less than h, less than or equal to 2.5. 2.5. H and 5. 5. So it's less than or equal to 7.5. 7.5 less than h, less than or equal to 10. 10 less than h, less than or equal to 12.5. And finally 12.5 less than h in between 12.5 and 15. Our next one then is of course our frequency. So we're just transferring this data here. 10, 30, 56, 60, 36, and 8. And then here's my wee less than column, if you remember I did it before. So it's less than in here. How many are less than or equal to 2.5? Less than or equal to 5, less than or equal to 7.5, less than or equal to 10, less than or equal to 12.5, and then less than or equal to 15. And here then we're going to set up our cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency, and we add these up then as we go. So how many are less than or equal to 2.5 is of course 10. How many are less than or equal to 5? It's going to be this one plus this one, so it's going to be 40. Less than 7.5, 56 plus 30 plus 10, 96. Adding 60 then to this column is going to be 156. This is going to take us to 192, and this then reassuringly takes us up to 200 because it says there were 200 trees in the forest. So that's where we are. Draw your cumulative frequency curve. I've gone slightly ahead in this. So things that we need to take into consideration along the bottom is always our less than, so we need to go up as high as 15. Going up the side we need to go up to 200, and conveniently our squared paper that we have on the next page is set up kind of like that, so we're all good. So you spot there every square I have going up the side is my cumulative frequency, and each square then is going to be 10. That's how I've set it up there. Going along the bottom we have 16 squares, so I've done them one for each one then for height of meters, and we sort then from there. So that's us. So I have everything in. I have my title in, I have my two scales in, you see that one there, and I have my labels in as well. Notice the bottom says height in meters and it's less than. So there's where we are. Let's plot our first point. It should be less than 2.5 and it should then be at 10. So 2.5 annoyingly is going to be here, but that's okay. And 10. Our next one is less than 5 and 40. Our next one is 7.5 and 96. I don't know if I'm still on the scale here. That should be an 80 there, by the way, not 80. 7.5, sorry, there's 100, there's 90, so I think 96 is around about here. Our next one is 10 and it's 156. That's 160, that's 150, so again just over halfway, so I'm going with there. Then we have 192 for 12.5. There's 190, so I think 192 is about there. And then for 15, we are going to have 200. You can see the shape of the curve as we go here. That's the way cumulative frequency curves generally work out, because round about the middle you have an awful lot more trees, so that's why it gets a little bit steeper, if you can understand that. Now the fun bit comes where we try and sketch this curve. You don't do it with a ruler, you do your best curve that you can. Some people may be a bit different and a bit off at that point there, and that one annoyingly. That one's a bit better, and so my cumulative frequency curve then looks a little bit like that. I hope you're happy enough with what I've done then. Okay, next thing asks us to work out the median. So if there are 200 trees, the median is going to happen at 100. So I need to go across here at 100. And I show the examiner that that's what I'm doing. I go that way, and then here I go down. And I think my median is 7.5. Hopefully we're happy enough with that. Maybe it should be slightly higher because I've sort of messed up there, but that's okay. Our lower quartile and our upper quartile. So if there's 200 split into quarters, we're going to have 50. So I'm going to go across at 50. And down. I'm going to take that as a 5.4. I think, again, sorry you can't see that. I've gone across at 50 and down, so I think that's definitely not 5.5. I think 5.4 rather than 5.3. Then we need to go across at 150. Until I hit. So there's 150, this is for upper quartile. My ruler is just long enough. You know what? And down here. So I'm going with that, and I think, what do we reckon? I think 9.7 or 9.8 is really what I would think then for that. So let's write down our kind of three values and see what we have. So our Q1, which is our lower quartile, I thought was 5.4. Our Q2, which is our median, I have a 7.5. And our Q3, which is our upper quartile across here and down here, I'm going to go with, goodness, 9.7 or 9.8. Let's go 9.7 actually, I think that's fine. Other thing we've been asked to find then is our interquartile range. Interquartile range is Q3, take away Q1, it tells you where the middle 50% lies, and that's 9.7, take away 5.4, and that's going to give me 4.3. So the middle 50, the middle 100 trees lies within 4.3 meters worth, I suppose, what that's kind of saying there. I'm just going to go back to see what we're talking about here and see what we worked out. This is one of the pages again that I left out. It says measure of spread, interquartile range. The interquartile range is found by subtracting the lower quartile value from the upper quartile value. That's just what I've done. The lower quartile is Q1, determines the lowest quarter of a distribution. Q2 is the median, Q3 is the upper quartile, and the interquartile range is given by Q3 minus Q1. Finding the quartiles, divide by n by 2. That's okay. That's what we did. So 200 divided by 2 was the 100. So I went across at 100 and down, divided by 4, or divide m2 by 2 for that one. So that was my 50, and then 3/4 was going to be then at 150. Okay. Let's see that we've answered the questions here. I think we have one last one to do. It says use your cumulative frequency curve to estimate the median. We're good. The interquartile range, we're good. And what percentage of trees are over 7 meters high? So let's go down to that. At 7, we're now going to go up and across. We're now going to go the other way. Go back to the small ruler. So there's my 7 mark there. Again, I'm showing the examiner I know what I'm doing by doing my arrows going the other way. So I've hit there, and I'm now going to go across. Let's see what I've asked for. This is C that we were answering here, and then this is part D. So percentage that are over 7 meters. So we've gone up and we've gone across, and that to me, there's 80 and there's 90, so I think that's 84. So 84 of the trees are 7 or smaller. That means how many are going to be over? So 84 taken away from the 200 trees would be 116. So the percentage that's over is going to be 116 over 200 multiplied by 100% to get our percentage. So 116 divided by 2, I should know that is 58. So we're going to get 58%. So 58% of the trees, according to mine, are going to be over 7 meters.